Our next performance is Sudama Leela drama. This is being performed by Prishni Mataji's class children.
When Krishna descends from his eternal abode in the spiritual world and appears to his Melbourne world, as he did 50,000 years ago, he engaged with others just as if he was an ordinary human being. Although he is unborn, he appears to have a mother and a father. In the village of Vrindavan, Krishna plays as a cowherd boy. He enacts these pastimes for his own transcendental pleasure and to attract the suffering living entities back home, back to Godhead. Sudama was among those devotees who were childhood friends with Krishna in his school. Sudama left Vrindavan at 16 and later he married and went to live as a king in Dwarka. Meanwhile, Sudama also got married and was living as a Brahmana, which means one who knows the real self-spirit and who dedicates his life to being a spiritual guide for the whole society. Now let us see what is happening in the life of Sudama. In Sudama's thatched hut, Sudama's wife is sweeping. Sudama was being Tulasi and saying his prayers.
Sudama was a very nice Brahmana and friend of Lord Krishna. As a perfect Brahmana, he was elevated in transcendental knowledge. Because of his advanced knowledge, he was not at all attached to material enjoyment.
Sudama's wife goes to her husband who's reading the scriptures.
Yes, my dear. What is it? Yes, we studied at the ashram of Sandeepanimali. I feel so happy remembering those wonderful days. But I do not want any material benefits from Lord Krishna. These material things are not very desirable.
In this way, Sudama's wife tried to convince her husband to go to Dwarka. Finally, Sudama agreed.
All right, I'll go. Besides, if I go, I shall see Krishna face to face. But I can't ask him for anything. Rather, I'll take him a gift. What can we offer him? Well then,
Sudama's wife goes to the neighbor. And she returns with a few handfuls of chipped rice in a torn piece of cloth.
this is all we have? Some dry chipped rice?
I'm afraid so. Please be careful on your journey. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Sudama sets off on the journey to Dwarka.
In Dwarka, a residential palace of Krishna and Rukmini with guards outside.
See, Krishna, there's so many gates and guards here.
Sudama in his happiness forgot everything. The guards tried to stop him. Suddenly Krishna appeared upon seeing his dear friend. He ran forward and embraced him with great pleasure and tears of joy.
Sudama, my dear friend.
Krishna, my lord.
It's so nice to see you. Please sit down and relieve your fatigue.
Krishna welcomed his friend in different ways. He personally washed his feet and sprinkled the water on his own head and Rukmini's. Then he anointed Sudama with sandalwood and other scented paste. Then he offered lamps and incense. Srimati Rukmini, the goddess of the fortune, fanned Sudama.
Krishna and Sudama sat down happily and talked about the time they'd spent together in the school with their guru.
My dear Sudama, do you remember those days when you and I were living together in the Gurukula? Do you remember the time when we lost our way when we went out to collect wood from the forest?
Yes, and while collecting the dried wood, we entered deeper and deeper into the forest until it became dark.
Yes, then there was an unexpected dust storm, dark clouds, lightning in the sky, and the explosive sound of thunder. Then there was severe rainfall.
The whole ground was flooded, and we could not find our way back to our Guru's ashram. We felt great deep pain, and in whichever direction we turned, we were bewildered.
In that distress condition, we took each other's hand and tried to find a way out. We spent the whole night in that distress condition.
Early the next morning, when our absence was noticed, our Gurudev, along with some of his disciples, came to search us out and found us in this distressed condition.
By the grace of the spiritual master, one can fulfill the purpose of life.
In this way, Krishna and his friend talked to each other for a long time. Then suddenly, the Lord smiled and said,
Oh, Brahmana, what gift have you brought for me? Whatever my devotees offer me is pure love and devotion. Pleases me. If it's a leaf, flower, a fruit, or even water, I accept.
Sudama felt very embarrassed to show his simple gift and kept his head bowed down. Suddenly, Krishna snatched the little bundle of chipped rice from Sudama.
Chipped rice? My favorite. I consider this amount of chipped rice is not only enough for me, but is enough for the whole entire creation.
Lord Krishna eats 1 poundful of chipped rice. Someone take 1 more poundful, but Rukmini, the goddess of the fortune, stops him.
In this way, Sudama passed the night in the palace of Lord Krishna. The next morning, he started for his home, thinking continuously about the grand spoken by Krishna. Apparently, he had received no words from Krishna, but just for being with the Lord, he was completely satisfied.
Sudama on his way back home.
sharp. See, he was so kind to me. He let me sit on the same bedstead where the goddess of fortune lies down. Seeing me tired, 3 months with me, they began to fan me with her own hand. She never considered her exalted position. Now, I realize, if the compassionate Lord even granted me a little wealth, I might neglect the service of his lotus feet.
In this way, the learned Brahmana Sudama gradually reached his own home. Upon reaching there, he saw that everything was wonderfully changed. An opulent palace stood where his rustic hut had once been.
Where am I? Whose palace is this? Where is my cottage?
Sudama's wife comes running. She's beautifully dressed and bows down to her husband.
My dear wife, the supremely opulent chief of the Yadu dynasty, Lord Krishna, has showered his mercy on us.
With tears in his eyes, Sudama comes forward and shares his thoughts.
My dear friend Krishna, I am sure he knew I secretly wanted to beg from him. He said nothing about it when I stood before him. Yet, just like a merciful rain cloud, he bestowed me the most abundant riches. He accepts and glorifies even a small service rendered by his devotees. He was so pleased even with a little chipped rice. Oh my dear Lord, I pray to you that I may serve you lovingly life after life.
Sudama realized that although Lord Krishna is unconquerable, he nevertheless agrees to be conquered by his devotees. Sudama did not change his devotional practices and continued to study to preach the glories of Lord Krishna. By constant meditation, whatever darkness, mental contamination remained in us completely cleared away. Very shortly, Sudama tried to a spiritual kingdom, which is the goal for all saintly persons.